everyone, Brenda with Gardening and Canning in the City. So the plums are now all ready to go in the orchard, and we have picked a couple flats and we are ready to start making some preserves and jams and all different kinds of syrups, plum sauce. So today we're making a orange plum jam. I've never tried this recipe. It's in the Big Book of Canning if you want to try it. So come on, let's go in the kitchen and get started. For this recipe, we need 5.5 cups of sugar, 5 cups of chopped and pitted plums, 1 pack of powdered pectin, 2 tablespoons of orange zest, and 1/4 cup of orange liqueur. I use triple sec. The liqueur is optional. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it, but it does make it more of an orange flavor. The first thing you do when you start canning is you always make sure to start with your jars and lids. You want them in the sterilizer, boiling for 10 minutes. It takes a while, so while you're getting everything ready, put them in the canner and get them boiling. I put my ladle in there too, so it's sterilizing too. I got my lids. They're getting hot in the back burner. They're staying nice and warm. So I put the plums in a stainless steel pan with the orange zest and the pectin. And we're going to start this up and bring it to a boil. You always want to make sure you have your sugar all pre-measured because you throw it in all at once. So make sure it's all pre-measured. So the recipe says to bring this to a boil and then add the sugar in all at once. You always want to make sure your pectin's all mixed in before you start getting it hot. So this will take a little while. So I'm going to get this up to a boil and then we add the sugar all at once. This is going to go really quick, so you always want to make sure your jars are ready because once you got to start throwing these in the jars, it goes really quick. So I'll bring you back. Well, here we go. It took about 5 minutes for it to come up to a boil. So I'm going to add the sugar all at once and bring it right back up to a boil and boil it for 1 minute. So stir in all this sugar. This has a great smell with the orange zest. I really like it. It's interesting. Usually I just do like a regular plum jam. Thought I'd try something different. So it'll take a while to get all this sugar in there. And you want to get it all dissolved and bring it up to a full whirling boil before you start your time. Make sure you scrape all the sides down. Get all the sugar up there. We're going to bring this up to a boil and boil it for 1 minute, and then we'll be jarring it up in the jars just that quick. Altogether, I think it took, once everything's chopped, it takes about 20 minutes. It goes pretty quick. It's the chopping that's all the work. So, you can see, this is really pretty. Alright, let me bring this up to a boil. Alright, so we got our full rolling boil. I'm going to start this for 1 minute and time it. It's going to boil for 1 minute, nice and hard. This is really interesting. It smells great. We also have some blueberries that are ready. I got them sitting over there on the table. That is a cross between a plum and a cherry. And this is the first year that we've got them because we always let the orchard trees grow for 3 years before we allow them to have any fruit. So this is year 4 for our plums and blueberries. This is going to be really interesting what the blueberry jam is going to taste like. Alright, got about 10 seconds left. You want to make sure there's no sugar on the side of the pan at any time. keep it nice and scraped off. There we go. There's our 1 minute. Turn it off. Now we pour in the 1/4 cup of orange liqueur. Ooh. Oh wow. Yeah, now I can really smell the orange. That smells divine. Woohoo! Can't wait to try this jam. Oh man, that smells great. Really smell the orange. There we go. Now if you have any foam or anything you got to scrape off, you want to do it right now at this time. But I don't see any in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and start jarring it up. You want to make sure all your countertop is all sterile. I like to put paper towels down where my stuff's going to go, so that way I know nothing's getting contaminated. This is supposed to make about 8 jars, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to jar this up with a 1/4 inch headspace. If you're new to canning, making jams and jellies is really easy. I mean, you really can't screw it up. If it doesn't set, you know what? It's syrup. You know, everybody loves syrup on pancakes, so whenever I had a fail, I always used it as syrup. But you can always retry it. I mean, recan it. It's not a big deal. Here we go. There's my 1/4 inch headspace. Wipe the rim. Whew, that's hot. Some people like to use vinegar. I usually just use water. I've never had any problems with stuff not sealing. As far as jams goes, it's pretty simple. And then just throw that on there. And the canter it goes. You always want your jars nice and hot because you don't want hot syrup going in, or hot jam going into cold jars because it might shatter your jars. Go. Actually, that's a little short. There's a little more in there. And always remember on the ring, the bottom one is your 1 inch, the middle is your 1/2, the top one is your 1/4. So that way you know where your 1/2 inch and 1 inch and 1/4 inch headspace is at all times. Alright, next. Alright, I'm going to get these jarred up and then we'll start the canter up. Be right back. Our 15 minutes is up, so we're going to turn the stove off and put a little crack on there and let those come down to temperature. It's really hot in there. So we're going to let the steam go off and we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes so that some of the heat can go. And when we bring it out, it won't be so hot. And hopefully it won't crack the jars. That's the goal. You want to bring it down to cooling really slowly. The jars have sat for 5 minutes, and so now I'm going to go ahead and start pulling them out. You can see what a beautiful jam this makes. It is gorgeous. So I'm going to pull these out and stick them on a towel so it doesn't crack my countertops. I have granite countertops. So Don't want the heat to crack them. They're really hot. You're going to let these sit for 24 hours before doing anything to them. Once they sat for 24 hours, you're going to take the rings off of them and you're going to store them without the rings on. And you're not going to stack anything on top of them because you don't want them to unseal and reseal. So I'll put that. You want about 1 inch between everything. So now these are going to sit. See how pretty they are? They look amazing. Yum. This was what was left in the pan when it was all done. There was a little bit left. And let me tell you, it tastes amazing. But you can see it's nice and thick. It's already nice thick jam. So this would be great on toast or on ice cream. You can even put it over some meat if you wanted to. It'd be really nice and sweet. Or like a pork loin. That'd be really good. Mix it with like a balsamic and put it over a pork loin. That's what I like to do with a lot of my jams. There you go. It is delicious. Let me tell you, that orange hint of flavor in there really makes it taste good. So give us a try. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's edition of Garden and Canning in the City. And this jam is really good. I hope you give it a try. So next we're going to do some blueberry jam. So come on back and join me for that session. We'll be doing it real soon. In the meantime, give us a try. It's really good. You guys have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You're going to have a lot of canning and gardening. And we're going to go through the garden and show you how we set it up and how to maintain it and how to get a lot of fruit like we have. So we'll see you later. Bye.